ABC15 Mornings. Breaking news first.
On ABC15.
This is ABC15 Mornings, 4:30 on a Friday morning. We'll get to the weather in just a minute. First, though, breaking news. Pretty scary scene for people at an apartment complex this morning. Let's check in right now with Christopher Stein. He is at the ABC15 live desk. Chris, some tense moments, no doubt.
Dan, dozens of firefighters called out to this fire near 19th Avenue in Dunlap, pinpointed here for you right there. The thing about this, one person rushed to the hospital, and I want to get right out to ABC15's Megan Thompson. She's on the scene of this one. Megan, we saw that victim being worked on by fire crews. What's the situation?
Well, the situation right now, Chris, the last we heard, she was in critical condition. Like you mentioned, we saw those compressions being done on that woman. Just very, very hard to see. But if you take a look behind me, we have multiple apartments that seem to be affected here with the crime tape up, blocked off. The smell of smoke is in the air. We're zooming in on that apartment complex, which seems to have that black, charred area, because we know the smoke was billowing out of that first floor apartment when the calls came out for this. Again, that woman in critical condition. Now, this all started around 2 this morning. Crews quickly able to stop that fire from actually spreading, but they didn't know that anyone was inside until they actually went through the search, found that woman inside, and then were able to take her out to the sidewalk and start CPR as quickly as possible. They did not wait a moment to make sure this woman started receiving the care. Again, she was rushed to the hospital full code, which means she wasn't breathing. So that's the issue right now, is what we're dealing with, is waiting to hear if there is an update on this person's condition. But one woman who lives at the complex told us her son and her were both sound asleep when they were woken up by this chaotic scene.
Glass in the back part, and then I came outside and I saw all the smoke.
Yeah, and the smell of smoke still in the air right now. This blaze also still under investigation. We will continue to follow all the updates, especially on that woman's condition, as soon as we hear back. Back to you, Chris.
All right, Megan Thompson there on that breaking news for us as we get started this morning. Certainly thoughts and prayers with her family as she's in the hospital right now.
Well, let's switch gears. Chris likes to heater shame people if he feels it's not cool enough outside. I tell you, though, Iris, I turned it from that blue to the red.
Oh, man. Okay, Dan, it's a little early for it. We're not even out of the 70s in Phoenix. We're sitting right at 71 degrees. We do have a lot of 60s, though, across the valley. Overall, clear skies, cool temperatures as you get ready to step outside. I do think our temperature will drop a few more degrees here before we bottom out and start to warm back up. And today, another warm one. Temperatures warming into the mid-90s with some high clouds drifting in as we head into the weekend. We'll talk more about whether we're going to see any chances of rain, and I'll have that weekend forecast for you in just minutes.
Okay, Iris, more breaking news to update you on happening while you're sleeping. 29th Street in Washington is going to be the location of this one. This is a fertilizer plant that caught fire. Now, dozens of firefighters on the scene of this one, and boy, they had to act fast. Phoenix fire crews saying it filled this large warehouse with smoke from floor to ceiling. They did get this fire under control using a large amount of fans to clear out the smoke. It sounds like a couple bags of fertilizer ended up catching fire. No cause of the fire, no injuries at this time, Dan.
Well, a scorned lover or something much deeper? We're trying to find this out right now. After a man is hit by a car, the Chandler PD believes his ex-girlfriend was driving. Happened just outside of a CVS near Ray and Price Roads. The guy taken to the hospital after that driver drove off. We don't have any word right now on his current condition, and we are still working to find out if that driver has been tracked down. Well, could this woman be working for ISIS? Federal investigators would like to know. They're looking into it, investigating after they say she plotted to set off bombs and try to kill as many people as possible. Michelle Bastian, now facing terrorism charges, says she and her husband, Thomas Bastian, were plotting to set off bombs in the vending machines at the Lewis prison. That is according to court documents. Thomas is an inmate there serving a life sentence for murder. The feds believe he converted to radical Islam while behind bars. The documents say Michelle was smuggling him ISIS propaganda into that prison and supplies disguised as legal documents. Court conversations, or phone conversations rather, also recorded them talking about ISIS. She is in jail now until she can post a $100,000 bond or the next hearing to revoke any kind of a release. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we're going to look into why a terrorism expert says Bastian may not be what they're calling a legit terrorist. Much more on that coming up. Chris.
All right, Dan, 4:34 back at the live desk. And right now, we are working to find out how a teenager is doing. Air 15 with the best vantage point of this one. This after that teen was hit by a car while riding his bicycle. It happened in Gilbert near Germain and Power. We know that he was rushed to the hospital in bad shape, unfortunately. We're told the driver hit the 15-year-old bicyclist who was crossing at the time, and officers are trying to piece together whether that boy was crossing with a red light or a green light. The teen is in critical condition. That's the latest update we have, Dan.
4:35 as you wake up, Mesa police asking you to keep an ear out and to keep your eyes open for a dangerous man. Take a look at the sketch. They say that man there on your screen is the one who attacked a woman last week at her home near Lindsay and Adobe Roads. It happened on October the 3rd, sometime in the evening. The victim apparently stepped outside to feed her pet, and that is when we're told the guy grabbed her by the arm, forced her inside, and sexually assaulted her.
It's just really disgusting, and it just kind of shows you that you have to be more cautious. It is really sad with everything going on.
It's a really nice, quiet neighborhood, so, you have a lot of people unsuspecting that somebody would do something like that.
Here's the description. 45 to 55 years old, 5'4", 200 pounds, with salt and pepper hair and a mustache. He was last seen wearing a red T-shirt, blue jean shorts, and glasses. He might be driving a gray or a silver four-door car. If you know who he is, if you've seen him, please contact police. To a crime alert out of Phoenix now, and this surveillance video shows the non-violent stuff. Police saying this is the shopping spree that happened after that man and woman brutally attacked somebody, unloading her groceries in the parking lot. It happened at the Fry's. This is the one at Bell and Tatum. They kicked, punched, snagged the woman's purse as they sped away. Kind of jog your memory here. This is video from August the 30th, again showing the culprits after using the stolen credit cards at another store. Now we need to show you some surveillance video here. Hopefully you can help solve a murder case. Look at this. This store where Ernie Solano was gunned down over the summer. This is near 42nd Avenue in Camelback. The two people on the camera might know something. Again, they might know something. Please contact police if you know who they are and where to find them.
It is 4:36, and I want you to check this out. The worst may be over, but people in Bermuda now dealing with the after effects. This is going to be from Hurricane Nicole. That storm generating winds of up to 115 miles per hour, snapping trees, peeling off roofs. More than 26,000 people at this very moment are without power. And people are now able to go outside and survey the damage, but authorities are telling them please stay inside until they know it's safe. There's certainly a lot of flooding and road damage throughout the entire island. And from that scene, we bring it back closer to home here because we're watching another storm brewing in the Pacific Northwest. People in Oregon and Washington bracing for possible strong winds, heavy rain, floods, possibly mudslides as well. The first round of this storm coming through from a series of storms that could hit this weekend. And authorities are now warning people of possible outages, flooding. It's all because of the remnants of a typhoon as that storm kicks up. I want to bring in Iris right now. Iris, you've been pinpointing this storm. What are you seeing right now?
Well, we're seeing multiple storm systems that are going to be tracking into the Pacific Northwest. Already seeing that heavy rain falling in spots like Seattle and Portland. And we are keeping a close eye on these storm systems right now, of course, well to our northwest. It does look like, though, most of them are really going to miss us just to the north. So at most, we're going to get some clouds spilling into our state through the day today. So you'll notice some high clouds across northern Arizona this morning. And as we go into this afternoon, some high clouds drifting into the valley, too. But the rain, the storm systems really staying north of our state. So today, all dry. We'll go from 71 and clear skies now up to 95 degrees again with mostly sunny conditions here as you plan your afternoon. We will talk about the weekend, though. Warm weather on tap. I'll show you whether we've got any rain chances, too, in that 7-day forecast. Mallory.
ABC15 Desert Drive Time, brought to you by CenturyLink Prism.
Your freeway's looking nice and light early this morning, including I-10 out in the West Valley. Let's give you a look at your desert drive time there. Just about 10 minutes on the 10. This is eastbound from Loop 101 till you hit the 17. I also want to give you a look at I-17. This is right at Cactus. We actually had a crash here earlier. They've since cleared it just a few moments ago, but it's looking good both directions there. But with it being Friday, there is a lot of weekend restrictions, so I'm going to map that out for you next.
Thanks, Mallory. Coming up on 20 minutes to the top of the hour. Keeping a healthy heart. It should be on the top of all of our lists. This morning, we are taking action with ways to do that with plenty of spare time.
I brought it to you as breaking news yesterday, and now brand new details emerging about this guy who shot police officers in Boston. Turns out he's no stranger to the Valley. Plus, what we're learning may have led up to these shots being fired. You're watching ABC 15 Mornings.